Well, so you've been doing it for 10 years, but
Mm-hmm.
I go to a lot of reptile shows,
Mm-hmm.
and invariably, when I go to the reptile show, I see other people with bearded dragons.
Mm-hmm.
And I can go to PetSmart, and I see other, obviously, stores selling bearded dragons. I have seen prices on bearded dragons anywhere from uh, $30 to $300 on the price of bearded dragons.
Mm-hmm.
What is it that's causing that wide gap in the price of a bearded dragon?
Well, you got different morphs and color variations and the nudity stuff, basically. Your lower cost dragons that you're seeing are what we consider normals. They have the tans, the browns. The genetics hadn't been altered to get the colors.
So I mean, you're saying the difference between a $30 dragon and a $300 dragon, is it just genetics? Is that it?
Genetics, color variations. There's different things. There's fire tigers. There's absence of scales. There's translucent dragons out there that you can basically see through their skin pigmentation, and it brings out the color saturation, more
Okay.
contrasting with the rest of his body. You can actually see through their belly almost.
Yeah. Well, you're talking about the different morphs, though, but how can you be assured that you're getting a good quality dragon? I mean, because people typically will pay a little more if they know the quality's there. What is it about Robert Johnson, the way you breathe things, the way you do things, that we can convey to people that you're producing a quality product versus some product that's done differently?
Well, I've been in this for the long run, so reputation means a lot to me. Quality with its dragons, to make sure you get a healthy dragon that's gonna live when you get it home, is our number one priority. We won't sell a dragon less than 6 weeks old. It's had time to go through its early stages of life. It's feeding well. It's had a very good diet. Any problems will show up usually between the time they're born and 6 weeks old. These dragons are babied in our facility. They get baths. They get fed 3 times a day.
I mean, it's a lot of work. You probably have a couple hundred of these, right?
Yeah.
And you have a big facility. You've got bearded dragons on bins. I've never seen it, but I mean, describe to me kind of what you're looking at in your facility, and you have sort of a methodology you use to make sure you have a healthy dragon that you ship out, right?
Yeah, we have a pretty simple concept with babies. We keep them in a very simple Rubbermaid bin. They're easy to clean, that way that you can go through hundreds of these babies and clean their bins more often. We don't keep them on any substrate to pass parasites between each other. We keep them on paper towels. They get sprayed at least twice, probably more like 3 times a day, to keep them hydrated. They get 3 feedings. By the time they're 6 weeks old, they've been fed 3 times a day.
Right.
They've been fed quality insects.
Premium crickets.
Premium crickets, exactly.
Yeah.
What you feed your dragon is what your dragon turns out to be.
Right. Now, assuming that you didn't do the work that you do to produce a good quality bearded dragon, what are some signs that someone can see that the bearded dragon is not healthy?
Well, you see this guy right here, he's real alert. His eyes are wide open, okay? He's got some good color going on, so he's a happy dragon. His tail is full. You don't see any bone structures here, right on his hips.
Yeah,
He's got a good full tail. That's where they store their fat reserves, right there.
Right.
So the first thing to look for is the base of this tail from here to there. I don't know if you guys can see this, but about right in there.
Right.
You'll see a good fat, no line tail, and you'll have a good fat reserve. So this dragon's been taken care of very well, basically. He's got the correct nutrition. He's wide awake. He's alert. He has his eyes are wide open. He can't hardly stand on this slick table, but
Yeah.
basically
Okay.
he'll stand up on his feet basically, and not lay down on his belly all the time.
Right.
That's some of the first things to
So,
look.
so that's an older healthy dragon. What about the younger ones that you sell? They're
Same
6,
way.
7, 8
Babies are
weeks.
even more active than these guys are.
Right, right.
They'll be wide awake. They'll be alert. They'll be running around in their enclosure.
Mm-hmm.
They won't be laying on their stomach. They'll also, you can tell on most babies whether they got a good fat reserve back here.
Now, Robert, what you do is you're crossbreeding and breeding particular types of dragons. And when we look on the website, we see reds and yellows and citruses, you know, and hypos, those sort of things. I mean, that's where your focus is. Your focus isn't on the run-of-the-mill ordinary dragon, is it?
Our focus is to find a line that is appealing to the public.
Of color.
And, yes.
Just like this dragon right here. How would you describe his color?
We call this a orange head, basically.
Orange head.
Yep.
You're looking at me.
But he's got a little yellow in the top of his head. But
Okay.
you see a lot of dragons out there that have the oranges and the reds.
And
saturation.
I can say, I'm sorry to interrupt though, is that with this color, when I bring people over to my house and they see this dragon, they immediately seem to be drawn by the color. Like, oh, that color is gorgeous. And you know, for someone who's never seen a bearded dragon before, which is, I personally enjoy that color right there, to see that in him. It's different, it's quite amazing.
Well, I notice in shows, we'll go to shows sometimes, and people will say, "I've never seen a dragon that color." And
Right.
most of the pet shops that you visit, they'll have normal bearded dragon colors, basically, just the
browns
tans
and the
browns
tans,
and
right.
the grays. And you do get some of these dragons even through these genetic lines. You'll get normal dragons out of a clutch, and we do actually sell through wholesalers to these pet shops. They haven't never seen a dragon like this before, so they
Right.
see this and it's like, oh, okay, we're not living in a black and white world anymore. We're back into color.
Right.
So we're Wizard of Oz. We done hit the top of the rainbow here.
Right.
These guys have come a long ways in 30 years, and you can get basically a lavender sidebarred orange red-headed dragon now if you wanted to, or translucent, or a leatherback hypo-translucent dragon. In 30 years, that's a long ways.
And
in
it just keeps
genealogy.
going on and on.
Oh,
and
yeah.
on. Yeah. So the variations are going to continue, because people like Robert, what he does is he'll go down to Daytona and he'll look for a particular type of either a male or a female dragon so that you can breed it. And you understand how mixing the males and the females and working with
Yeah.
genetic, you understand how that works, right?
Yeah.
And so do you have particular projects you're working on, like you're trying to achieve right now, something that maybe nobody has?
We're actually working in line with what's already been established right now, but it's the new stuff we're looking at. We're looking at the reduced scales, the translucent dragons, the hypotranslucents, and the new leatherbacks, the smoothbacks, and the silkies. That's pretty much
That's
the
where you're
going
focusing
thing right
on.
now. Yes.
Okay.
And we have all the old school dragons. We have all the citrus lines, the tangerines, the oranges, the reds, the snows, the leucistics. We have all those lines, and they're still, I mean, people are still loving these dragons. So
Yeah.
it's not like
Yeah.
this is going out.
Right.
It's like something new is coming up. So
Right.
we'll stay on top of the market. And
Yeah.
always
So
it's
typically, how
exciting.
many dragons do you have at one time?
We house anywhere from 400 to 1,000 babies, 200 adult breeders
Really?
at any given time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a lot. Now, didn't you say you supplied Petco or at one time
I used to sell to the wholesaler that sold Petco.
to Petco?
PetSmart.
Okay. PetSmart. So you've had wide variety of experiences out there with bearded dragons. And by now, after 10 years, I hope you've kind of got it figured out how to do it.
Oh yeah, 10
Make
years
sure it's quality product.
Is definitely a learning process.
Mm-hmm.
First couple of years you stumble a lot and you have to learn all this genetics and what does what and how to take care of this guy properly.
Mm-hmm.
But it's an easy dragon to take care of. It's as long as you do your homework and you get some good information, well then this guy will
And that's why we're doing these videos, is to convey information to all of you guys out there so you know what to do and how to take care of your bearded dragon. All right, thank you very much.